Today I want to talk about duality and this concept that we have to accept with openness who we are and where we are in our journey in order to continue to grow. So many people try to push change from a place of guilt or shame. I shouldn't be in this place because everyone that is my age is further on, or I shouldn't be in this place because all of my friends have gotten more than I have, or I shouldn't be in this place because everyone else seems to find it so easy to run their online business. Whatever it is, whatever the story you're telling yourself, if you're trying to drive your change from guilt, it's never ever going to work and be sustainable. There's this really amazing way of being, which is around being super compassionate. And as you go through your healing journey and you start running your business and you start learning more and dealing with your emotions and feeling things properly, you will have this really amazing level of compassion that starts to build. So with everything that I've gone through in my own journey, whether it is being made redundant, having depression, losing family members, moving country, like whatever it is that we've done, every single new layer that gets added on gives a new level of understanding, like it unlocks a new level of humanness where I can suddenly look at other people who have gone through something similar and I can think, oh wow, you're so strong, you're so incredible. And I wouldn't be able to do that without going through those different, life circumstances. And there's this really amazing idea around, we are everything. As a human being, we are light, we are dark, we have good thoughts, we have bad thoughts, we have good emotions, we have big emotions, we can be really compassionate, but we can also be petty at times. We can hold so much love, but we can also hate. Like, we are such dual beings, just in the way that we exist in the world, just in the way that we are in the world. And to actually link that back and look at that from a business point of view and say, I can be learning and helping people at the same time. I don't have to be an expert in everything in order to help because I'm a dual being. I can be posting on social media and figuring it out and still signing clients because those things are not connected to each other. It's not to say that we have to figure everything out before we can have a successful business. One of my favorite things about business is that you can take imperfect actions and you can get big results. You can take imperfect actions day after day and they will start to build that momentum. And there is not a single business owner in the world that has started their business and gotten to success without having a failure, without picking the wrong choice, without taking the wrong action, without doing the wrong thing, without saying the wrong thing. Like, there is not a single person in the world who has gotten to where they are now without having those moments where they don't represent themselves in the best possible way. They don't, step out and take the best possible action. And this is what I want you to really understand when you're going through this journey, is that we are dual beings. We are not here to just have a perfect experience. The big difference is I can be a dual being. I can accept that I don't have all the answers. I can accept that not everything will work how I want it to. I can accept that I will get it wrong. I can accept that I won't know, what action to take. I can accept all of these things, but I can still wholeheartedly believe and trust that none of those things are going to change the outcome. That none of those things are going to change the way that I show up, and they're not going to change the result that I get, because my results are not down to just the actions that I take. My results aren't down to doing things perfectly or saying the right thing or, you know, posting the exact right thing at the right time. My results are wholly down to me moving, me creating momentum, me taking action. And actually, the more that I can step away, and you can step away from that idea of I have to be a perfect being, the easier it becomes to accept this duality, to accept that there is lightness and darkness in you, that there are some things that you know and some things that you don't. And the more that we can accept that, the more that we will have success in our lives. So I have this great way of always believing that what is coming will always be incredible. So there's always something good coming, there's always something incredible, there's always, you know, something I desire, something that I want is always on its way. But what I've let go of is the need to know exactly what that thing is. The need to know exactly how it's going to arrive. The need to know exactly when it's going to arrive. Being able to let go of all of that constriction and say, actually, I don't have to have a 100% life plan that tells me exactly what I'm going to be doing in 10 years' time. That's how I used to live my life, and it didn't work. I ticked off a whole bunch of things off these lists and I was still massively unhappy. And actually, as we start to shift through this process of realizing that we don't have to have all the answers, we don't have to know exactly what it looks like, we don't have to know exactly where the end goal is, all we have to know is how to lead ourselves with desire. All we have to know is how to be compassionate to ourselves on the journey. And actually, the more that we can be compassionate to ourselves, the more that we can look at the situations we're in and say, I might not know exactly what to do, but I trust myself to take action anyway. I might not know exactly what to say, but I trust that this is coming from a good heart and a good intention. People can pick up on where you're coming from. They can pick up on what your driving force is. And when you genuinely just want to show up in the world and do incredible things and help people and be a light in the world, people can pick up on that. Now, it's not to say that you can't desire material things, or you can't desire money, or you can't desire stability, or, you know, financial wealth, or you can absolutely desire all of those things and still be a good person. Again, there is a duality in how we exist. And neither of these things, none of the things, are this or that. It's not I can be a good person and not have money, or I can have money and not be a good person. That's not a choice that you have to make. You can be a good person and have all of the money. You can be a student and also be a teacher. You can be somebody who is taking imperfect action and still be somebody who gets amazing results. This is the beauty of this process, is that there's duality in all of these things. And the faster that you can lean into the duality and say, what are the things that I am shaming myself for? What are the things that I feel guilty about? What are the things that I don't feel I'm good at yet? And how can I start to look at the duality that exists? How can I start to see that none of those things are a deal breaker? None of those things are a full stop or an end. Just because you haven't mastered something yet doesn't mean that you won't in the future. Just because you don't have the outcome that you want right now doesn't mean that you won't have it in the future. This is the beauty of this process, and this duality that exists for us as humans, is nothing is ever final until we decide that it is final. You can't fail at business until you stop trying. You can't fail in a marriage or relationship until you stop trying. You can't fail at learning something until you stop trying. this is the beauty of life, is that we have so much capacity and so much ability to influence and control where we're going and what we're doing, just by the person that we choose to be, the existence that we choose to live. And I want you to really take this away and ask yourself those questions. Who are you and what do you desire? What is this duality that exists for you? And when you look at that list of what are the things that you feel shameful or guilty or, you're not enough in, versus this list of what you desire and how you show up in the world and what you are proud of in what you've achieved, you start to get this picture of this dual being that you are. There's not only one list. There's not only the list of things that you haven't achieved. There's also the list of the things you have. There's not only the list of actions that you haven't taken, there's also the list of actions that you have. And you have to be able to look at both of these things with equal appreciation in order for you to have success in moving forward. So I want to leave you with this thought today about, what does duality look like to you? What are the two sides of the coin that make up who you are? And how does this process look and feel and feed into where you're going on this journey? Because you are incredible. You are a force to be reckoned with. And you just need to figure that out for yourself. Because I already know it. This is something that you have to do the work with. You have to process through and think about. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. I'm going to leave you with the task of going and doing some journaling and thinking about the duality that exists inside you. And I'm going to see you next week for our next video.